Hello Divas, welcome to Diva Wears Atlas and I'm your host Dildar. Diva Wears Atlas is the first Uyghur woman hosted storytelling and guest interview podcast highlighting diverse guests who are Uyghur or from Central Asia or all over the world. Today's episode is a long overdue solo yap session where I get to just catch up with you guys while I also share my love for yoga, my personal journey with yoga with you. Okay, let's just jump into it. Our first catch-up topic is that I am going back to teaching yoga again. I used to teach in Hot 8 Yoga in LA, and I love the Hot 8 Yoga community. And with me moving to Seattle for this new job in corporate America, and then getting busy with so many other things the past year and a half, I stopped teaching, but I tried to be consistent taking yoga classes. I would say Seattle yoga scene is not as good as LA yoga scene. New York City and LA in US have the best yoga community and studios, and the class is just amazing. When I move to a new city, I always try to try out all the good yoga studios. So there are a few good ones as well in Seattle. That's what I've been doing past year and a half, just taking classes. This quarter, I am reminding myself to prioritize my health again, to be healthy, to move my body and eat healthy, all of that. And I just remember when I was at my healthiest, I practice yoga consistently. I would say like every single day with maybe 1 or 2 days off. My new goal of wanting to be at my best health and taking care of myself again, and the urge of like reconnecting more deeply with something I love is what brought me to start looking for studios to teach again. I start auditioning to a few studios in Seattle, the studios that I love and practice at myself, and I ended up accepting the offer to teach at Breathe Yoga. If you're based in Seattle and you want to actually get FaceTime with me, with our community, come take my yoga classes. I feel like we're so online nowadays, and especially recently in my intense isolation of working on my passions, I crave more and more real connection and FaceTime and people and socializing, you know. I would love to practice with you if you love yoga as well. Even if you want to try it out, come take my class. We're gonna sweat together. It's hot yoga, not very, very hot, but hot yoga, power vinyasa flow that I'm teaching. I teach at Breathe Yoga Belltown. I'll link the information in the description down below. Every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Also DM me if you want more information. I will make sure that you get into the class and everything. I think I will always be teaching yoga, and similarly, I'll always be teaching Uyghur if I can, because teaching, the act of teaching itself keeps you on your toe to continue learning and be immersed in that craft. It will become more integral part of my life, and I get to share that passion with other people. So that's amazing. Yeah, if you want to get better at something, teach it. I guess the next update is similar in the teaching realm. Outside of teaching yoga, my spring beginner Uyghur language course on 1001nightsoflessons.com is going so well. This weekend, I'm going to teach week 6. So we're well over halfway of teaching the course. There's like 2 more weeks left until they graduate. And I can't wait to hear their graduation speech. Each student in the class will prepare 1 minute speaking in Uyghur. And they will be able to do that because they took the class, because they learned it with me, and it makes me feel so fulfilled. And that is the reason why we've been bi-weekly since March, by the way. Just a quick reminder, I think we will continue to be bi-weekly upload schedule until June. Starting June, it will be weekly again, hanging there just for a little bit, and I'll see you more starting June on. Lately, looking at all the interesting thing that I'm doing, teaching yoga again, doing this podcast, Diva Wears Atlas, and running my online course brand, 1001 Nights of Lessons, teaching my mother language Uyghur. In addition, just continuously making videos on social media and having fun with it. All of these things makes me such an interesting person, at least to me, that I feel like at this point, the least interesting thing about me is my corporate job. is my 9 to 5 in corporate America. It has not always been like this, you know. The growth is insane because it's so different from when I just started my corporate 9 to 5 career, like maybe 1 or 2 years into it. My whole entire identity is working and my 9 to 5 job. I was like playing scenarios in my head of everything happened at work, being stressed about it, having like horrible work-life balance, even just mentally, that barrier is so blurred. I didn't even realize I had that problem at the time. My therapist was the one who told me, your identity, your self-identity, how you see yourself is too singular. You need to diversify your self-perception by enriching your life, the pentagon of life. That was a very enlightening, helpful therapy session. What I took away from it is the realization that I need to not let my job be my identity. It was an insane, hard process because literally I don't know what else to think. And fast forward now, I have a goal of building an empire outside of my job, because at the end of the day, every one of us want ultimate freedom of time. That's what I'm working towards, and you have to start taking actions and actually building these things on the side to get there. I love that like all my hobbies and passions and businesses are so diverse. Maybe this just aligns with my ADHD personality. I love like having multiple things going on at the same time. Hi Divas, quick little break from the episode. Today's episode is sponsored by 1001 Nights of Lessons, which is my Uyghur language online course. As you may or may not know, I'm an Uyghur girl and I'm teaching my mother language Uyghurca on 1001nightsoflessons.com. As of right now, there is a summer 2026 beginner Uyghur language course you can sign up for already. The course officially starts on July 11th and it's an 8 weeks beginner Uyghur language program where we meet every week through Zoom on the weekends. Each week is a different topic, grammar focus, vocabulary focus. In addition to the 1 hour class in the beginner Uyghur language course, you also get a conversation corner where you get to practice what you learn right after class for 15 to 30 minutes. Şoňa Uygurçany öýrenmekçi bolsaňyz, bu ýazdan başlap menden öýrenseňiz boldy. If you already know the basics, alphabet, know some conversational vocabulary and phrases, maybe the elementary course is a better fit for you. Right now on the website, again, 1001nightsoflessons.com, you can sign up for the waitlist for winter elementary course. I plan to just continue teaching different seasons, so even if you're watching this at a different time, you might find something that will work for you. Now for some fun stuff. Let's talk about books and movies I've been consuming lately. Not a lot of books, unfortunately, but I'm working on it. There will be a book review episode soon, hopefully next month. I love my Friday movie nights at home with my projector. That's like my favorite happy time. And a few days ago, I had one of these cozy movie night. I watched a classic old movie called Cinema Paradiso. It's an Italian movie. The whole setting happens in Sicily. It came out in 1988, but I never got bored for one single second. The shots are slow, intentional, long. The dialogues are poetic. It's so different. It's a feeling that you rarely can find in new movies, you know. There's a couple other movies I love that are based in Sicily. Milena by Monica Bellucci, another classic. Obviously, Godfather has scenes that are in Sicily. Those are all great movies to watch. But Cinema Paradiso is about a young man's entire life story. It touches on theme of nostalgia. So basically his mom is single mother raising both him and his sister, and he found this connection with this older guy who works in the movie theater for all his life, Alfredo, and he taught him this craft of how the movie is played. Alfredo became a father figure for the little guy. You will also see him find his first love and leaving that and choosing to leave his hometown behind. Alfredo, this older man, holding the protagonist's collar and telling him at the train station, don't look back, don't give in to nostalgia, live your life. There's nothing here. And this is just so emotional. And he did exactly that. He became like a famous director. Am I spoiling everything for you? But it's still worth watching it. You will need to experience his whole life with him in that movie. Now, not too much on the plot. So it's a very sentimental movie about life and nostalgia. And because I'm teaching Uyghur language, I'm constantly looking at books about language and culture and even history. And that's kind of my fixation and my personal academy that I'm building for myself through reading. And I came across a really helpful book, and I want to talk about it briefly. It is Uyghur short stories for intermediate learners, and it's in Uyghur Latin alphabet, and it's for level B1 or B2. So if any of you want to just like practice reading, increase your vocabulary in Uygurca, this is a really, really easy start. And all the stories are in there are very interesting, culturally accurate. 10 Uyghur short stories for intermediate learners. It's a good resource. I recommend. Now let's talk more yoga, our main topic of today. I want to share my yoga journey with you. So my yoga journey started in 2018. It's a very spontaneous discovery. It all happened in college. I had to select this one selective course for credit. That lecture happened to be hosted by a Japanese monk. I never really thought anything would come of it. I was there for the credit, just so I can get it over with, but I came out a different person, totally shocked and changed and transformed, because that was the first time I ever meditated in my life. It was very clean, focused, simple meditation where I had only one task: to not think about anything and to just breathe and to exist. And that was the moment I realized, wow, I have never ever done that in my life at all. Like, I realized I do not know up to that point how to stop my thoughts and just breathe. And I was 21 or something, 22, 23, I don't know. I was like in my early 20s. I know, that's very concerning. That 10 minutes felt like 3 hours for me. It was very difficult to do, to not think about anything. I actually devoted my whole self to try to succeed at not thinking about anything. I got so angry with myself. Like, my eyes were closed. The entire room was quiet. I was a struggle bus and emotional turmoil inside. When I finally gave in to just breathe and observe my breath, inhale, exhale. When I noticed my existence with no noise of my thought, I cried. I had tears uncontrollably dropping out of my eyes. I don't know if it's just like, wow, I finally did it, or that's a thought in and out of itself, or like, I'm just like taken by the simplicity of that breath. We have to practice mindfulness in our life to be better at being present. And so that was my first ever experience of that. I feel like I was reborn. I felt amazing after that 10 minutes. When I opened my eyes, I looked around the room. I was wondering if anyone else had that same spiritual journey as I did. I still am so grateful to that one random selective meditation class led by that Japanese monk. I wish I remembered her name. After that, I started meditating more, and that was also the moment I started to take care of my well-being mentally and physically all together. So I started to practice yoga first from YouTube videos. I started to take free yoga classes from the school's gym. They have this program, they're trying to hire student yoga teacher to lead yoga classes. They have this like 20 hours program. As long as you finished, you can be a yoga teacher at school's gym, start teaching other students. I signed up for that, finished, passed the audition, got the job to teach at the gym. From teaching that classes is when I decided I will teach yoga forever because of how much I love it. And it had really helped me be the most flexible, healthy version of myself. And being flexible actually saves you from injury. When you train with flexibility, with enough mobility, you train more effectively with weight training as well. So flexibility is not a joke. It's not something to dismiss. It is essential to your well-being and health. Oh my God, I can go on and on. Now I'm just like preaching you to do yoga, right? But what's fun for me in the beginning is my fixation to try to get the asana poses right and to advance my practice as a skill, kind of like an Olympian trying to perfect, like ice skating, for example. I was trying to get my headstand right, handstand right, my split right. So I started from handstand. Within a week, I got it. And then I practiced my split. I think I got my split fully after a month of doing like every day practicing split. And it's consistency. You build on that. Seeing myself being able to do things I've never been able to do and getting better and better at it, that reward cycle was everything. That just got me hooked and addicted. And I think people who needed healing and connect with themselves, they often wander their way to practice yoga. And once they do, they're addicted. It's done deal. And that's what I was doing in the beginning. And I knew the second I graduate, I will get my yoga teacher training from a studio I love for the 200 hours. And I did exactly that. And for me, unfortunately, at the time when I graduated, it was COVID. So everything had to be online. So I did my 200 hours yoga teacher training online. When I was into yoga practice, like every semester when I had winter break and summer break, I would go into the city, New York City, and take free yoga classes. Try all the free yoga classes that I can find in the city for my free time. I think I was doing barista in New York City. And then once I got off work, I would like go practice yoga. That's just my day, how it looked like. And in the evening, I would go skate in Bryant Park. That makes me miss New York City so much. Right after I got my yoga teacher training certificate, after the 200 hours, I moved to LA. And from there, I started auditioning and I got the job to teach at Hot 8 Yoga. And that's what I've done for 4 years in LA as a side hustle. I also did so many other things in LA and eventually got into my corporate job. Even in my corporate job, I kept teaching on the weekends. Fast forward now, I see yoga as integral to my physical health and mental health. That 1 hour on the mat, it's a ritual for me every day, maybe every other day, or just like consistently going back to the mat. Really afterwards, I just feel so peaceful. My mind is just at a completely different state. The practice of mindfulness off the mat is a lifelong practice that happens 24/7. That is the most difficult part that we tend to forget. But showing up on the mat that 1 hour will help you train that muscle. You'll get better and better at it. I'm speaking like I'm an expert who mastered mindfulness. Not at all. Like I am getting back into teaching again because I want to be more mindful. Like some days I also scroll on my phone and I hate myself for it and I regret afterwards. But I just know that if I push myself to show up on the mat every day, I will feel that much better. It's that sanctuary of 1 hour of ritual to take care of your mind and your body. And it all just starts from there. It's like my equilibrium, the secret that keeps me sane. It's my medicine, my personal medicine is how I see yoga and me. I really can talk about yoga forever. For the sake of time, I'll just end it there. This episode is a love letter to yoga and my gratitude to what yoga have done for me. And I hope it inspires you to try it out, or a similar craft that does the same thing to you, that you can find a moment of mindfulness and move your body. There are so many other things that you can achieve the exact same result. With that, thank you so much for listening to me yap about my yoga journey. And it feels so good to catch up with you real time of what's been going on lately. Reminder that we're going to have a bi-weekly release schedule until June. So next episode in 2 weeks will be a guest episode with a very, very interesting Uyghur girl. If you haven't followed the podcast and you've just been listening here and there, please follow so we can hang out more consistently. Follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And you can also leave a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple. And leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Or shall I say, namaste. Which means hello in Sanskrit. But we yogis, we say that a lot.